Behold!
Okay, so it looks like a draft actually started a bit early. Did not get to properly intro this game, but Andromeda has been on an absolute tear into the back half of this season. New York Nutbusters has actually been on a tear for the entire season, though they are 7-0. We are right into drafts, so we're gonna have to look at some of these player spotlights towards the end. 3 jungle bans to start this off. Cam is being targeted with the Hecarim and the Echo. Rengar and Zoe have both been taken away from New York Nutbusters, perceived as one-trick champions. It looks like New York Nutbusters does not have as much prio on the Asol as we presumed initially. The Asol is banned away, not looking to first pick that champion, and instead Gangplank is taken off the table from Andromeda. So 3 potential one-trick champions are off the board. But Alex and PB's champion pool is left completely untouched. This Milio hover is a joke. The champion is currently not allowed to be locked in until the next patch is out. Cam's pool got hit pretty hard here, but it looks like we're just going to see first pick Varus. Varus is pretty flexible. You can play him lethality or kind of like on-hit slash crit style. Gives you a lot of different options to kind of choose from here. But we are just going to see this Xayah Rakan completely uncontested. If New York Nutbusters had done any scouting work, they would have known that this was coming. But of course, it's always possible that they knew it was going to happen and simply just didn't care and let it get locked in. Dave has been on an absolute tear on Rakan. Very good at the champion. Has been for a very long time. And this Xayah has been something new for Adam recently, but he's been playing very well on it. Looks like the Heimerdinger is going to get picked up as the counter pick into the Rakan. I'm not 100% sure on this how this matchup works. Usually Heimer's really good into like hook champions and champions with strong projectiles as he's able to block them. Rakan does not have that type of thing going on. But I do think it is slightly suboptimal into the Heimer just because you're able to use your stun grenade on wherever that Rakan is going to land. And it looks like the Viego is going to get locked in. Was banned against Mike a couple times in their last series versus the Rift Sharks. And we might expect to see a jungle lock in here for Cam just so his pool doesn't get pinched even farther. But it's entirely possible to see one of Alana's or Stanley's champions locked in here instead. Something to look at is the top lane. Blake seems to be a very strong player, hard to be matched. No one really seems to be able to slow him down too much. And Alana is kind of like the brick wall, right? So we have Unstoppable Force in Blake and the Unbreakable, Immovable Object in Alana. Great weak side player. Most people have not really been able to punish her picks. Alawi and Mordekaiser have been the two that we've seen so far. I think we've seen a couple other ones that haven't panned out quite as well. Just going to double check real quick. So far this season, top laners, we do have Lana, yes, 7 games of Mordekaiser, 1 game of Cho'Gath, and 1 game of Alawi. Looks like Zillion is going to be banned. Pretty solid pick. Is able to bail out the Xayah and the Bel'Veth if they get in trouble. And it's just a very solid champion for Stanley. Lots of comfort on it. We might also see the Victor get taken away, but no. The Veigar and Ahri are banned. Looks like Stanley isn't willing to play this Veigar, at least blind. I'm not sure if Taxi was really looking to play it in their previous series. Champion is a lot stronger in the bot lane compared to the mid lane still at the moment, despite the nerf specifically targeted towards that lane. So we'll have to see how that's going. Believe this might be Victor, but it's actually going to be Orianna. I agree that that is probably the better ban. You're able to slap the ball on Rakan, Rakan goes in, and that is a free shockwave for the Ori. So I'm expecting to see a Victor taken here for Stanley. Has not had too much access to that champion recently, so having it available to him here could be quite solid, although I'm not necessarily sure if that is going to be what happens here. But yes, there we go. That is the Victor that is going to be locked in. We'll see what the counter pick is going to look like here. The Rammus is being hovered. Absolutely shreds this Bel'Veth. It's possible that we do see the Rammus here. Blake takes Viego into the solo lane, or just plays Rammus top. Both of these are very solid options. Absolutely destroys the Bel'Veth, and both Rammus and Viego are very playable in the top lane. Viego could also be a pick that's designed to slam Alana in lane, which is something that no one's really been able to do consistently. We do see the Rammus locked in, so 2 typically jungle champions are available here, so one of them is going to be in a solo lane, I would assume. There's always a possibility of it being something else that we're not expecting, but I'd assume that is going to be the take here. Looks like Talia is going to be this final pick here. I'm not entirely sure how the matchup does go into Victor. I'm going to check real quick for us. Looks like it is not optimal into the Victor, but it does hard counter the Bel'Veth and Rakan. And this Sejuani isn't really a great pick here either. This could be Sejuani top, something new from Alana here, or the Bel'Veth could be a laner, and we could see some crazy stuff kind of going on here. I'm not entirely sure what is going on at the moment. We're going to have to see what happens as we get into game here. A lot of question marks still left on the table. I assume it's going to be Sejuani top. I know Russ has played a bunch of it and is on this team, so it could be the kind of angle that learning from your other teammates, finding good picks that you can use in your own games for your team. But not entirely sure. And I do think Blake could either play Viego or Rammus top, and we are really just not going to find out for a little bit here. I'm going to try and get us into game, or try and look at some of the stuff going on. Before too quickly, just managing a couple other things real quick. Apologies for the waiting. Just trying to figure out what's going on. A lot of chat messages are going in here. Okay, we're going to take a quick look at the highlights. Stanley is a featured player for Andromeda. Most played champions are this Victor, which we actually see come through. Zillion, Vex, Vel'Koz, and Nico are also champions we've seen a lot of. He has actually exactly 50% win rate on 168 games. Pretty solid KD of 2.7, very respectable. And 33 champions, one of the smaller champ pools we've seen in the server, especially with such a large list, or such a large amount of games played. Some champions to watch. Two of these we saw banned. One of these we saw picked for the New York Nutbusters. And the Echo and Zillion were actually both banned. And Adam and Dave got their Xayah Rakan bot lane. That has been very powerful for them. Blake is actually hovering Milio in the client. It looks like it is going to be... I'm actually going to wait to announce or say this in Twitch just in case we have some stream snipers. I would very much hope that's not happening, but who knows. Adam and Dave are actually undefeated on their Xayah Rakan bot lane. PB is 6-0 on Rel, which is crazy. We actually didn't see it today. Mike is 5-0 with a 6.25 KDA on this Viego pick. So it's going to be a very spicy jungle matchup. Cam 3-0, 72 KD on the Echo, so it makes sense why it was banned. The key matchup here is actually going to be support. These players have never faced off in the support role, as Dave was playing different lanes earlier in the season. But PB is 29 wins, 15 losses on support with a 4.46 KD, insanely impressive. Dave with similarly impressive stat lines, just on a bit of a smaller sample. Key player for the New York Nutbusters is going to be Blake, who, I will spoil now, is playing Rammus top in this game versus Alana. Looks like he's opting to not necessarily try to smash lane, but instead roam around the map and cause other things to happen. Specifically, interfering with the Bel'Veth could get a lot done for him. He has 164 games played with a 56% win rate. Very, very impressive with a 2.83 KD. And a bit of a larger champion pool than Stanley, who we looked at before, with 39 champions played. I'm going to try and get the rest of these infographics up for us as fast as I can. I do think this game is going to be very exciting, though. The Heimerdinger, I'm not sure if we've seen come out in the support role in a season game so far. And this Sejuani is definitely a new adaptation. At least in the visible games for us. For Alana, Xayah Rakan, I expect, is going to be terrifying. These players have been very good on these champions. And I think they're just pretty solid in the meta right now. I wonder if New York Nutbusters just failed to scout it or had some sort of secret tech cooked up to counter it. The champion matchups, we've only seen Viego and Bel'Veth against each other before. Bel'Veth has historically performed a little bit better, but I don't think this is super significant. Moving on, the past performance in these champions, Blake is 2-0, undefeated, 7.67 KDA on the Rammus. Mike, as we looked at before, is doing great. PB's first timing Heimerdinger. Alex has performed pretty solid on the Varus. Taxi has played only a couple of games of Talia, not looking like one of his strongest champions. Alana, first time, as we talked about. The Xayah and Rakan stats we saw already. And Stanley's Victor stats are very commonly known. 28 games so far, making this his 29th, which is ridiculous. 2.58 KDA on the champion, and Cam is 1-0, 14 KDA on Bel'Veth. So, again, I think this jungle matchup is going to be very interesting, as well as the top lane matchup, just to see how the Rammus interacts or chooses not to interact with the Sejuani. Support is also very interesting, just to see how two of the best supports, in my opinion, in the server this season are going to fare into each other. The season records, Viego is looking incredibly strong, 11-2. Nothing else super remarkable other than Sejuani has been pretty weak and Rakan has been pretty solid. These player matchups, Taxi and Stanley are 9 games against each other, with Taxi slightly coming out ahead, and Mike has actually had a very strong record into Cam, who has been dominating all the other junglers in the server so far. I believe these are just going to be from the previous matchup. And Blake versus Alana, 1-1, but Blake has by far the better stat line. So we'll see if he's going to be able to keep that up here. We should be getting to game as we speak. Not quite yet, actually. So we'll just let this hang out for a bit. I'll try and show the mastery. I feel like that's pretty interesting. Stanley has about 750,000, and Dave has about 250K. Alright, we are in game. I'm going to try and get these borders updated for us just so it looks a little bit cleaner, and we can see how many games each of the teams have so far in the series. Obviously, this is going to be the first game. Unless you are just starting, then I guess it's a little less obvious. But it is going to be 0-0 between these two teams so far. Alright, looks like there's going to be some fighting breaking out in the bot lane. The ward drops down, but now they're all pushing into the turrets. A flash comes out from Dave, but isn't able to pick anything up. I'm not sure why the flash was blown. But yeah, Blake is congratulating Alana for expanding her champion pool, saying she's a good champion, referring to Sejuani. Blake definitely has some thoughts on the Alawi and Mordekaiser, so not surprising to see this come out. A little bit of banter between the teams, all in good fun. The Belveth actually did not start any potions, just trying to get more gold towards those items, unless they were consumed already and I didn't happen to notice. Just gonna double check. Okay, looks like one potion. Sorry, new jungle item cost threw me off. Potion was not purchased. So it's gonna be an extra 50 gold. And it looks like Cam must have cleared a ward to get some extra gold. Or I think it might, the Heimer turrets probably. Cam does burn the smite to start off the camp. Very quick start. And it looks like Mike is going to be starting on the top side a little bit slower, but has held his smite, which is going to affect this pretty severely. Alex and PB have already established a very strong hold on this lane, harassing Adam and Dave off the wave. Blake is playing as Soccer Ball Aramis, one of the better skins. Going to look pretty cool. Stanley with a nice Psyops Chroma as well. Fun stuff. Neither of these lanes seem super engaging. Not too much trading going on. And top lane is going to be tank v tank, so it's going to be perma-boring. Do like what we're seeing here from New York Nutbusters, though. Clearly saw that Cam had been performing well on the Belveth and had a strategy cooked up to counter it. The heavy roaming top laner with the Rammus. We'll see if it gets what it needs to done, but I like the creativity and initiative taken into this team that they know is going to be a tough opponent. And it looks like we do have Comet Bears. It's going to be probably that lethality build just focused on early damage, and the Viego and Talia should be the late game insurance to carry them over the finish line of the game. Blake has already been roaming a little bit. I believe he just took Krugs. Looks like maybe not. Knowing Cam might be in the area, decides not to go for it, but Adam's falling quite low, getting poked out very effectively here. We do see Cam here, and yes, the Krugs were not taken by Blake, but I think he just went up to check, make sure that Cam was clearing towards topside, allows them to get some safety in that knowledge for their bot laners, allowing them to play up this far. Looks like Mike could be going for a dive. The Victor is here looking for something, but he's not going to spot the Viego. However, Cam is looking a bit too far, and the taunt might come out any second from Blake, but Blake actually keeps walking. So the taunt is not going to get too much damage down, but huge stun from PB onto Adam. Adam's falling down low, and they're going to pick up first blood to PB with the Heimerdinger support. Hate it or love to see it, I'm not really sure. But everyone's going to have some sort of reaction. Pick was a bit notorious, but I think this is one of our first times seeing this come out, so pretty cool in my opinion, but Heimer support is not exactly everybody's favorite, so we'll have to see. Cam is looking for an invade here. He's going to try and pick up these wolves, but Mike is also getting some counter jungling. The Gromp is going to be taken. Top lane has stayed pretty boring. Blake has picked up about a 12 CS lead, looking pretty good for him. Taxi is also up a significant amount of CS in the mid lane, and neither mid laner has used their teleport. It looks like Cam is actually continuing his invade, getting a lot more done than Mike did off the invade. They're both at the same farm, but after Cam finishes off his camp, he is going to have a bit of an advantage taking the base. Mike just didn't want to risk taking the wolves. The first dragon of the game has spawned. It is an ocean drag. Neither team seems to be going for it, but Blake is getting a lot done here in the top lane. Aftershock comes out, and Alana falls down super low, but Blake does not have enough to get the kill. Alana's going to be forced to take a base here under 200 health and basically 0 mana. Adam is walking down, trying to get some vision on the drag, but PB just throws a turret over there, aggroes the Drake, and looks like nothing else is going to come of it. Some good deep vision was placed here by Adam as he roams here, but the stun comes out. He is caught. The cleanse comes out before the exhaust, and PB is able to pick up yet another kill here. Although now they're in a bit of trouble. Alex and PB are getting caught out by Cam here. The teleport is coming out from Alana to try and finish this off, but PB has another kill. He's 3-0. And it looks like his play might just get disengaged. Stanley's actually the one that was here. Alana just burned the TP top. That was a 2-for-1. Kill goes over to Cam, who's been consistently Andromeda's like main carry, so getting the extra gold onto him certainly does not hurt. But PB getting this fed, has a Blasting Wand and a Ruby Crystal, and is going to buy even more when he goes back to base. Gets a Giant's Belt. He's going for this early Rylai's Crystal Scepter, which is going to make Andromeda's life a living hell. Taxi just does not get hit by the Rakan here. Rakan dashes through the rock field, gets instantly stunned, and the entire bot lane of Andromeda just went mid after Stanley came into the teleport, not wanting to waste anyone's time or resources here. And Mike's actually caught out here in a pretty bad spot. He's going to try to get to PB, has to burn the flash to do so. But mid lane is very exciting. Adam is looking to just get the kill straight up, but is unable to. Mike was able to get down to his support in time. They're looking for a play here. And Cam burns the smite to make sure the Rift Sculler is secured for himself. And Taxi's flash is forced out. Dave went for the Rakan play to try and secure a kill, but ultimately did not end up getting it. Stanley is not having a good time here into the bot lane of the New York Nutbusters. So Mike is going for a play here, doesn't have too much available to him. Cam is here. Fortunately for Mike, he does have the Black Mist from Diego to hide himself and dodge some of the auto attacks. This Rammus pick seems to be doing work. Alana has been kept at like half health this entire lane and has to burn so much mana to outtrade. Or not even to outtrade, to just not straight up die during these trades. Although the Rammus and the Bel'Veth have not interacted too much, so that particular interaction has not gotten too much merit, at least in this stage of the game. I expect that to change though, as Bel'Veth's attack speed does infinitely scale from her passive. We might see our first big fight breakout that's going to include the Rammus and the Bel'Veth. They're both looking around at this Rift Herald here. No major plays yet, but the Dragon is also up. Looks like Dave is looking for an invade here. Cam flashes forward to try and steal it, does not quite get it. Viego ults out. Dave goes forward, drops the Ignite, is able to pick up one. The fight is continuing. Blake is showing up here, is probably going to get something done. The ult comes down. Dave is taunted, gets some damage, but not enough. And Blake is looking for this Bel'Veth. But Bel'Veth is going to feast. Taxi throws a rock and is able to take down the support, and Stanley actually ended up dying in the bot lane here. Another good arrow. It looks like the Heimer ult was expended as well, but was not necessary to pick up this kill. These early trades have gone well in favor of New York Nutbusters. They're up about 3,000 gold in addition to their 3 kills. Huge CS leads in almost every lane, the exception being Adam has been farming a little bit better than Alex. And Adam might just be able to kill... Yeah, that's a solo kill from Adam onto Taxi here. The level difference was definitely there, but seems to not matter that much. New York Nutbusters is able to pick up the first turret with their bot lane just uncontested there. Able to plow through Victor and then the tower he was trying to defend. Adam's been playing very well this game. Has gotten caught out a few times. It seemed like Andromeda was struggling into the Varus Heimer lane, but Adam's just threatening the mid laner pretty much by himself, getting a lot done there. Nutbusters have decided that the strategy is to just send their bot lane back into the other team's bot lane, try and get stuff done. The cleanse and flash are forced out from Adam, but the arrow from Varus gets so much done. Chunks both of them, knocking them out of the lane. The poke from the Varus who bought the Youmuu's Ghostblade first, as well as his Heimer, is just too much. Blake does get stunned, and it looks like they're going in. The taunt comes out onto Cam, who is getting some damage, but Blake is ultimately just going to die, despite trying to drop Cam low. One more tower shot would have done him in, but Cam is instead going to drop Rift Herald, and I think, yeah, he's got the Void Remora, so I believe this top tower is just going to be gone. So much damage is coming out. Going to be very hard for the New York Nutbusters to stop this push. Even if Blake is able to expend the TP, there's 3 people here. He's probably just going to get dove. Yeah, Blake's going to choose to just sack the turret. You kind of have to. Bel'Veth, as long as she remains in her ultimate and does not die, she's going to keep spawning these Void Remora, which are just going to shred these structures for New York Nutbusters. Alex does get caught here, takes a decent chunk of damage from Stanley's Victor, but it's not going to be enough, and they're looking to set up a dive here. Mike and Taxi sitting out of vision, probably going to try and pounce on this next wave. If Talia hits a flick, it's kind of over. There's lots of setup from the other members of New York Nutbusters. Blake looks to stop the recall, is not able to do it. Instead, Adam is just going to walk blindly into this lane, gets stunned. The flick does not quite come out. They were waiting, the Xayah ulti, and Mike plays so well there, buffers the ultimate through the blast cone, and is able to transform into Xayah after securing the kill. New York Nutbusters did definitely come prepared for this Xayah Rakan bot lane. This Varus Heimer is absolutely thrashing it. Yeah, and Dave goes in here. Huge engage. Alex is just caught. There's not much he can do. Cam transforms again. I'm not sure if he has Void Remora still. It looks like he does, though. Very powerful champion here. Blake is in a bad spot. Is able to dodge the knockup from Cam. But now he's looking to possibly drop a taunt. Cam's dropping down so low. PP flashes in. The ulti comes down. Is not going to have enough damage initially. But Blake times that perfectly. Hits Dave as soon as he comes out of the stopwatch. And Alana's going to fall as well. This is 2 kills for 0. And what looked like Blake getting caught out. Blake is now just rolling out here. They're trying to pick up Stanley as well. Mike flash stuns, and he's going to get stunned inside the Victor field. He just went in too deep, going for too much. Both Stanley and Cam walk out of here with very low health bars, and now Adam's just been free farming bot, trying to get back in this game, getting some gold off these turret blades, which are only going to be up for about 15 seconds longer. Alex actually did pop the Ghostblade, is looking to just secure a kill here, but he might be pushing up too far. Cam's here, the insta-cleanse comes out, and Alex just does not expect to see the Bel'Veth coming, and Cam gets enough damage down for Adam to pick up this kill. Andromeda's playing this mid game very well, trying to get themselves back into the game. After it looks like they got broke apart super early, had to do some lane swaps to get themselves back into this game, but everything looks to be going a lot better for them. They've got the Belveth online and a couple kills into the Xayah as well, so their late game insurance could be doing pretty well. Stanley also 1-1-1 is not looking too bad either. Has got the Luden's Echo completed. Or Luden's Tempest, I think. My bad. They're continuing to put Adam into Taxi to try and match this Talia, and it is going very well. Adam's movement has just been very good. Really hard for Taxi to land a flick. PB and Cam, the only two players on the map to not drop a death yet. Both have been playing insanely well. The shutdown for PB is a little bit larger. He's 4-0-2, building towards what I believe is going to be a Leandri's. Taxi's trying to get a lot of damage done here too. I believe he's probably going to go for the Ludens, just to have some burst DPS to kind of complement Heimer's sustained DPS. Dave is clearing this out, but this is going to be 3 people checking into a single bush. Adam falls down pretty low, has to burn the ult, and Dave is actually going to live here. Mike falls, and Taxi was too close, got hit by the Belveth ultimate, and now the Chaos Storm is dropping down. Taxi is sticking low, is not going to fall. PB is pretty safe too, but Dave goes over the wall, but it's just going to die. Heimer and Varus each get a kill, but now the shutdown is picked up. Oh, but it goes down to the Ignite from Rakan. Adam is not able to claim that 700 gold shutdown for himself. This was a 2-for-2 over the Dragon, and it looks like neither team's really even able to secure it. Blake, again going in for a trade, has secured about half a tower and 60 CS. I'm not sure this is what they were going for. Not a huge lead. Only has a kill over Alana from a roam. The angry cat emote coming out, followed by a happy penguin. Seems like these two players have definitely been enjoying the tank top lane matchup, doing pretty much nothing for 16 minutes. Dragon is still yet to be seriously contested. It looks like we might see a run back of the same play, but all these key ultimates are down for pretty much every champion on Andromeda. Actually, on the bottom side of the map, we'll say. It looks like the top side, except for Victor, has everything available. Cam's just going to clear out some vision and get this started. Taxi is sitting on a lot of items in his inventory. He might be pivoting to a bit of a different build than he was originally going for. Has 3 large AP component items picked up, but has not completed them into anything yet. The tier is being stacked pretty well. Same with Alex on the Varus. And actually Alana on the Sejuani as well. Probably going for the Thimble Inter. Blake is nowhere to be found here, but he does have the teleport available to him, and the Dragon is being started up by Andromeda. They're dropping it down low. Stanley is coming in to help, but there's a flank coming out. Mike is able to pick up the Victor, and Blake is here on the flank. Is looking to get the taunt onto Adam. He's dropping that super low, but gets interrupted by Dave. Taxi starts the ult and decides to not take it. Cam is behind enemy lines, is probably going to pick up Taxi here. Taxi's forced to flash, but it doesn't do anything at all. Cam's dropping down low. Blake is going for this. Cam expertly dodging out of the stun, but now he's taunted into the Rammus. It does so much, and now Alex is able to pick up the kill under the Belveth, shutting Cam down. All 10 members on the Rift have died at least once this game. Blake's in a tough spot. Actually, Dave just misses. Sejuani ult is thrown out. So many abilities are burned into Blake. He's not going to fall. And he gets one in return. That was a 1v3. Flash is traded. Adam, with very good feather placement, is able to pick up a root. And Stanley has to flash to get the kill. So many resources being committed just for a 1-for-1 that looked like it was super Andromeda favored to start it off. Danger pings coming out. PB and Blake just pinged like 8 different things. All of these must have happened at some point, but so many resources being expended just to win these small advantages. This game is super, super close. Second Rift, believe was taken at some point. I must have missed it. Apologies for that one. Oh, actually, okay. Mike's sitting on it in his inventory right now. That is not going over to Cam, who it has much more value because of the Void Remora possibility. Looks like Blake is building towards the Jock Show. Rush Thornmail, almost necessary to do on Rammus. Synergizes just so well with your kit. And it's going to do absolute horrors to Cam this game. Looks like the game has finally slowed down a little bit. We've had a bit of more than a kill per minute. Alana is TPing top to make sure that Blake doesn't just pick up this tower. I believe he probably has demolished, making that a very serious threat. Alana has completed the Heartsteel. Blake is just going for this. Is not easily able to get this done, but Blake just has so much armor. Rammus is a disgusting champion, just tanks so much tower. Cam is going to drop down low. And Mike actually misses the ultimate, but is able to pick up the kill anyway. That looked a little rough. Very much not ideal. I guess for Mike's heart. Probably caused a little stress there. Cam just pressed E and stood still, which is sometimes very effective at dodging abilities. Blake is the third member for his team, fifth member overall on the Rift, to pick up the second item. PB just gets absolutely blazed on. Zaya and Rakan double engage, and this Blade recall was very good, and they try to escape the play, walk right into Stanley. That is a double kill for Stanley on the Victor. And this could just be a clean Baron. Mike is taken off the Rift as well as the bot lane. Blake looks to be going in here, drops the ult, tries to taunt someone, hasn't picked anyone up yet. He's just stalling out super duper long. Taxi showed up here, is probably going to try to stop this Baron, walks over a ward, is not getting the damage he needs, has not found a target with many of these rocks. Cam flashes, does not get anything done, but is able to pick up the Baron. That play was disastrous for New York Nutbusters. They tried to go too much and did not respect the blade color from Zaya. Just got hit by a few too many feathers. Get themselves rooted up and do pay the price for it. This dragon is starting up soon. New York Nutbusters looking to take a mid-turret before it happens. Aren't able to get it done. Blake's TPing in pretty deep. Looking to cut off Cam immediately. Goes, but the blast cone is able to save Cam. Rift Herald's used to grab this tower, and now the dragon should be started up for the side of the Nutbusters. Adam is the one to watch here. He's been getting so much done. Taxi hops in looking for something. Dave just gets hard CC'd, picked up by Alxisard off, and they maintain aggro on the dragon with the Heimerdinger turrets. Don't even have to be there to secure the drag. New York Nutbusters getting a lot done. Cam could be in trouble, ends up being fine. They force the flash out of Zaya and the ult out of Sejuani just to stop Rammus from rolling to their faces and getting some damage done. Mike's in a tough spot here, just pops the Black Mist, trying to save himself here. I think it is called something else. We'll double check. It is called Harrowed Mist, I think. Whatever. Or just Mist, maybe. It has a name, for sure. huge root coming down, but ultimately nothing picked up for Alex there. Cam is here and it's just going to light up Taxi. This push is so big, no one here to respond from Nutbusters. They just had Taxi up here trying to deal with it, but it wasn't enough. Cam is now dashing out, just wants to get away. This wave is going to be cleared. Cam still has about 2 minutes left with this enhanced form. 5-2-5, doing very well this game. And Stanley, who we are seeing now, also doing very well on his signature champion, the Victor. Playing very solidly. And Alex is face checking, is just going to get caught out here. The Belveth Rakan combo is simply too strong.
Your team's turret has been destroyed.
Cam is pushing forward here. He's going to be very hard to kill throughout this game. Looks like Mike and Stanley are scrapping up a little bit in the bot lane, but I don't expect anything to really resolve from this fight. Taxi's looking for a potential flank, waiting for Alex to show up, splits the team in half, but Cam can just go over the wall. He does have his upgraded form available to him. The Chains of Corruption come out, but find no targets whatsoever. Both major objectives spawning in about 2.5 minutes. Ideally, both of these teams are looking to pick those up. The game is still in a somewhat even state, although there's a lot of extra gold in the pockets of pretty much every role for Andromeda. They're up about 4,000 gold, and it's distributed pretty evenly throughout their team members. I think with the one exception, or I guess the two exceptions are top and support. PB's been playing very well here, has completed his first 2 items, and does have the stopwatch. Might be able to stop and engage on himself. And Blake is looking very strong here as well. I'm not necessarily sure what item he's looking to pick up here. Not super familiar with the Rammus itemization in the top lane. Adam is looking super strong here, has the most farm in the game by far. Has been playing very, very well here. These Blade Callers have been ridiculous. And have not been respected very much by the New York Nutbusters. They seem to not know how to position around them to avoid them. Cam is spotted out here. Mike decides it's in his best interest to not contest this Scuttle Crab and just hands it over. About a minute left for both objectives now. Alana is getting set up around the dragon, dropping down some vision. And PB is just going to get burst by Cam. Walked up too far right into it. Some damage is coming out. TP is attempted to help the play, but despite Alex being able to hit the chains, there's just not enough that can be done here. Blake is actually looking to pick up Cam, but Cam just flashes away immediately, does not want to risk anything happening to him by this Rammus. And Cam just hops right over the wall, pops the blast cone, preventing the steal option, at least for free, removing the blast cone as a possibility for Viego to get in and try to grab a smite here. Some Baron pings are coming out. They're at least aware of both objectives. Not sure which one is going to be the choice for them. It seems like Andromeda is just able to disengage whenever Blake tries to initiate anything. PB is now back in the fight, looking to get something done. And Blake walks up, just isn't able to get enough done. Alright, Adam is starting up this dragon. It's dropping down to 3,000 and is secured for Cam. Belveth has not grabbed the form yet, although I believe she just did now. Blake's on the backline trying to find someone to get killed, but Stanley is not the best target to taunt as his attack speed is not that high. Blake is just getting a lot of damage down onto Adam as Adam's trying to get stuff done. He drops the taunt, but Adam's auto is just able to pick him up there. Mike is huge here, except this Blade Caller should just be enough. Mike's trying to pick someone up. That's a triple kill for Mike. He might be able to finish the Quadra up. Goes in as the Rakan. The ult comes down, but it goes onto the wrong target. Might have been able to pick up Adam there, but instead looks for the kill on Cam a little greedily and falls for it. Taxi's going to try his best to get out here. Talia passive should be enough and is able to get the flick. Andromeda is looking much more strong here, and the two main damage carries are still up for them. They're going to be able to just get this Baron. I don't know what New York Nightbusters can do to stop this, and this might be the end of the game. Bel'Veth is such a strong champion when it comes to securing these Void creatures. Give her so much damage, and look at this, they're just shredding it. Bel'Veth has 3.37 attack speed. Very normal amount, for sure. PB looks to try and get something done. Blake is here looking for the taunt, but yet again, Cam just dashes to a blast cone and diffuses the entire situation. Cam has been doing a very good job of finding these plants around the map to protect him from the Rammus. Not too many Voidemar have spawned yet, but I'm expecting that to change as this wave crashed into tower. Alex is going to try to get engaged on here, but is able to get the Chains of Corruption to save himself. Blake goes in for the taunt, gets Cam down to about half, but Dave is doing so much here, locking these players up. Stanley flashes in, lots of damage. Mike is going for something, but gets nothing. I believe that is another kill picked up for Stanley. Taxi's able to get one in return, but it's just not enough. Cam's dropping down low, but yet again, the flick miss. Cam's movement has been so good. Adam is falling down low, is going to die to the Talia, but I just don't think there's enough damage left to finish off Cam and Alana. And the Bel'Veth, with her Void Remora, is going to end the game at 31 minutes, ending 2-8. Cam, easily the MVP this game, had the Rammus locked against him in the top lane to try and counter this Bel'Veth, and it just did not get enough done. Moved super well around the map, used his blast cones to his advantage, and was just always in the right place at the right time to get these plays set up. Shout out to Adam, played super well this game. Those Blade Callers were ridiculous as well, but the impact from the Bel'Veth just simply is not matched. Alright, we should be hopping right into draft. Andromeda was, not necessarily surprisingly, But they did grab the first game in the series against the New York Nutbusters. Felt like the Nutbusters had some ideas that they thought were going to work here to counter some of Andromeda's strategies, but they ultimately did not pan out. I'm expecting to see these same 3 bans from Andromeda coming out against the New York Nutbusters, the Rengar Zoe, and the GP, or we could see a first pick Gangplank. Hecarim and Echo looking like the same thing. GP is banned. I think they've just accepted at this point that Adam is going to be their AD carry. And Alana is going to stay top lane, which I have been campaigning for all season. The Aurelion Sol is first picked, as it was not locked in as a ban, but instead the Xayah was. Thinking that the Rakan is not the problem, which honestly could be true. The Blade Caller was getting a lot of work done. Excited to see what we're going to see from the New York Nutbusters. As these R2 and R1 lock-ins, we might see the Rel. PB is undefeated on this champion, 6-0 on the pick. Yeah, and that is a challenge for Andromeda. See if you can deal with this champion. It's not very prevalent. Some might say it's because the champion isn't very good, but I think you just need to know how to play it correctly and play around it in the correct way. And PB is just so comfortable on it. His engages are very good. Stanley is on the Aurelion Sol. I would just assume that the Nutbusters felt like the Victor was just as good, if not better, and Mike is just going to lock in the Vi here. Very good champion at picking out specific threats. Bel'Veth could still be up. Felt like their counter to it last time didn't get done what it needed to. So let's see it. Blake is cooking up to counter it. And Zeri Yuumi is locked in. Super cringe. Yuumi did get nerfed a lot, so I'm excited to see how that is going to affect her strength on the Rift. This is our first game of new Yuumi in the server after she is now enabled after the new patch came out. And the counter to this is probably just going to be an ADC locked in, or a mid laner to deal with the ASOL before the bans come through. We are going to see Samira. Huge. This is going to be a super fun counter lane into this Zeri. Samira Rel is so good. Typically, I feel like Zeri is considered a counter to Samira. Zeri is very safe, but if New York Nutbusters is able to execute this comp correctly, they could get a lot done here. The Bel'Veth is taken off the table. They feel like they just don't have an answer to it. Ahri is being banned as a possible counter into the ASOL. A very good champion historically for Taxi. I'm not surprised to see it taken away. And Udyr, another one of Cam's champions that he's played this season, is taken off the table. Feel like Cam's performance on Udyr has not necessarily matched up with some of his other ones. I think you could have better bans locked in here, but it is a champion he's played, so I'll give him that. Veigar is also banned. I feel like Veigar ASOL is just like a pretty standard matchup that we've seen a lot recently in pro play. Fiddlesticks is locked in. I would swear that this is top lane for Blake. They're throwing the gauntlet down and saying, you have nothing to deal with Fiddlesticks top, which honestly could be true. I don't even know what I'd pick into Fiddlesticks top. But it's also possible that they're leaving up the Fiddlesticks as a flex champion too. Blake is known for picking some weird shit, so I'm excited to see how this goes. I played into it the other day and did not know what I'm doing. Wukong is locked in for Cam. I don't know who else would be playing this champion. We'll probably just see Alana on Comfort again. We might see the Mordekaiser come out, but it's always possible it's Sejuani again. I feel like Sejuani might actually have a pretty good time into Fiddlesticks, able to disrupt a lot of his channels. And yeah, it is the Sejuani again. I feel like it probably has a decent matchup into here. Unless this is the lane Vi, which could be very interesting. And Garen is going to be locked in, so I believe this is just going to be the mid lane Vi, Fiddlesticks jungle, and Blake is just going to grab Garen with Sejuani. This is crazy. Mid Vi was showing up a little bit a while back. I believe Faker was playing it before either a Worlds or MSI, trying to prep the pick. I think I was the victim in Scrims who fell for this. I did play it. I don't think I did very well, but I'm pretty sure we won the game. But I'm interested to see how this very unconventional draft from New York Nutbusters comes out. Alright, and with the remaining champions locked in, I should be able to get this pulled up. I was just making sure that I had a grasp on what was going on here. Okay, yeah, gonna pull this up. Unfortunately, I did not update the featured matchup, so I don't think any of these are going to be super interesting. If I have some more time to kill, I'll pull something else up, because I do want to talk about the top lane and mid matchup, because I think they're the most interesting. I'm at top and jungle. Cam is definitely like the player to look out for the most on Andromeda, although Adam is trying to change that with his recent lane swap. And Alana has been a very talked about person for Andromeda as well. A lot of people seem to think she's not a good player, which I honestly completely disagree with. Has been able to just neutralize so many players who are considered to be very good at top lane and able to carry games, and they've just not been able to do that indoors. So I think Blake is someone who was kind of like foretold to shut her down. Did not work out super well in the other game, but we might see that change with this Garen pick. It's actually the second time playing Garen in a Scrims game today. Played it against the Rift Sharks earlier. Was pretty much just unkillable at the end of the game. Use it as a counter pick into the Ornn. This matchup, I believe, is going to be very similar. The true damage execute as a % of missing health is very good in these HP stacking tanks. So I'm expecting it to get a lot done in this game as well. Sejuani versus Garen has only been played top lane one time prior, though, and the Sejuani absolutely smoked the Garen. I'm not sure if this is a lack of matchup knowledge or what, but I do just find that kind of interesting. Go to check it out real quick. It looks like the matchup was Michael into Joey, and actually neither player really played poorly. It seemed like the Sejuani just had to play a more supportive style to enable the rest of his team to perform well. The game is still going, or the lobby's still waiting to start. Lana did just play Sejuani. This is not super updated yet. I believe this does include Blake's game earlier today. I think his stats are probably brought down by the loss in the past. Mike has played Fiddlesticks one time before, played pretty well. Cam has played a few games of Wukong. Done decently. Stanley's Asol has pretty solid stats. Dave has played one game of Yuumi prior, but this was on old Yuumi, and he has gone on a tear in ranked on the new Yuumi, so I'm expecting to see the stat line change very significantly. Alex and PB are both undefeated on their champions. The Samira Rel combo is very solid. Taxi is first having this by mid. It's going to be very interesting to see how it works. And Adam is 1-0 on Zeri with a 4-0 KDA. I'm expecting this to be certainly a bit of a fun game. I think if New York Nutbusters falls too far behind, it's going to be pretty doomed for them. But the early game was not where they struggled in the last game. So could go in their favor. Nothing super crazy here. A lot of these are what we saw before, so I'm going to try and pull up some fun stats to look at. Okay, now let me skip through, and here we go. So prior to this series, Mike had actually been the one to play the Belveth and the Viego, as well as a Lee Sin game, and Cam had played Wukong, Kayn, and Pantheon. Mike had performed significantly better, but overall stats, Mike's win rate seems to be a lot better, but that's heavily influenced by this season, and his KDA is a little bit worse than Cam's. So it seems like these two players should be pretty evenly matched. It just seems like Mike has had the advantage previously, although that most recent game is definitely going to change this up a little bit, and we'll see how the rest of the series affects it as well. I am going to take a quick break from talking as we load into the game. My voice is kind of giving out on me, and I want to be able to cast the game, so I'll just let the music go for it. Alright, we should be on the Rift soon, or literally right now. This game should be very exciting. Taxi is going Hail of Blades Vi, not super surprising. I think that makes the most sense. Gives you some early game pressure, and it's going to look to just light up this Acel. Blake has gone Phase Rush Garen. Pretty sure that is just correct in all situations. Conquer is decent as well, but I think it is a rare game where that is better than the alternative.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Personally, I'm very excited to see the Fiddlesticks and Rel kind of come out. These champions are not seen super often. Vi, obviously, seen a lot, but in a different role usually, so that's also going to be quite exciting. Has the longsword and 3-pot start, same as the Samira, actually. I don't know. I think this will be a fun game. Fiddlesticks did take the pot to start. Cam did not take the pot to start. He seems to really enjoy this strategy. Saw it in the last game as well. Fiddlesticks has a very fast clear, but it's not necessarily the healthiest. So we could see an attempt at some interference on this clear to try and disrupt it and put Fiddlesticks in a bad position. However, Alex and PB are setting up in the lane early, looking to get something done, and Blake drops some vision here, going to figure out when Cam reaches that point in his clear. They're going back to lane. There's a few missing pings coming out of the bush. They expect something is going to happen here. Seems like there isn't going to be anything that happens here. Alex just picks up the first 3 minions very easily. Taxi off to a very standard start in the lane. We'll see if he's able to pick up some early kills. Actually does miss that Q. Stanley gets a lot of damage back in retaliation. Acel is going to do more and more damage as the game goes on. A very heavily scaling champion where, as this Vi probably needs to get her lead in the lane and snowball a lot earlier than that. Blake, however, is trading super well into Alana. This might be the pick that we needed to shut her playstyle down. Garen is doing quite well here. Yeah, and it looks like Stanley's just winning this matchup early. It's down on mana though, but the range versus melee is pretty easy for him to harass. The first strike is almost always going to proc in favor of Stanley instead of being pushed away. Looks like PB and Alex are doing pretty solidly, up to a bit of a CS lead, but some of it is just because they've had access to more minions than the other side. And Yumi is just keeping Zeri super healthy. If Alex and PB are going to look to make a play here, they're going to need to just 100-0, which is going to be insanely hard. Yumi does provide some additional shielding and healing to Zeri with this combo. Top lane is a bit ridiculous, so Blake is up 20 CS. Alana's sitting at 3 at the moment. Blake definitely getting a lot more done in the direct head-to-head than in the previous game. Cam and Mike are both sitting at 28 CS, but we do see a flank coming out here. PB was able to get a deep ward. A dive might be coming out here. Levels 3 and 4 are reached, but Cam's coming to look to try and stop this. I wonder if he's going to be spotted out. Mike was pretending to be a fake fiddle, but now just starts walking away, blowing his cover. They're trying to get some poke down onto him, but it's ultimately not going to amount to much. Cam is going to be a little ahead in farm because of this interaction. He's able to start on his camps before Mike is able to get back to working on his. Could be a play mid. Taxi gets some damage down. Stanley drops to half. It's like they're trying to bait Stanley to move forward with his kind of like glide ability, but seems to not want to do it. Cam is here to kind of support the play if it does happen. Top lane has been a bit of a slaughter. Alana's not really been able to farm pretty much anything. I'm still sitting at 3 CS. I'm going to check if it is a bug. It actually just is not. Blake has just been playing the lane this well. completely forcing her off the wave. Now there's some pings coming out in the mid lane looking to potentially go for a play onto Taxi, but Taxi can always just queue over the wall if need be, so I'm not necessarily sure what they're going for here. Yeah, and a play could be happening topside. I feel like if Blake is just sacking some health to just perma shove and keep Alana off the wave. Sejuani does have very good gank setup, so you could look to play off of that and try and get some stuff done, but Alana has gotten no help this game. Kind of just leaving her stranded. Started the tier, so just does not have any combat stats available to her to really get much done. Yeah, and Andromeda has a bit of a gold deficit here at the moment. It is almost completely in the top lane due to the CS disadvantage. Taxi also has a bit of a gold lead, has been playing this Vi mid into Acel lane quite well. Mike is just really looking to secure this Scuttle Crab once the vision available to him. And it is actually picked up by Mike. So take some damage for it. And PB pulls Adam out of the wall, forces out the cleanse flash. Insane play, engages at the exact right time. Does not allow Zeri to escape here. And Blake is now up 60-5 CS. The question is he going to be able to get too much done off of this? The Garen regen is allowing him to just sustain in lane for a very long time. He seems to be going in here, forces the dash out of Sejuani. He's just not able to pressure it any more than that. He's struggling to be able to get the phase rush off. It's just not hitting enough abilities here. But instead is just denying Alana so many minions. Okay, Taxi is getting engaged on, but has the Q charged up to just get out of there. Question mark pings coming down. They think there might be someone else there, and they'd be right. Mike actually evades the vision cone. A play could be coming out down here. Taxi's going to go over the wall, gets the lockdown, and the Vi ult comes down. Mike predicts the flash, gets the silence, ult comes out, but first blood goes over to Taxi with the Vi mid lane. Very cool pick. Definitely a counter plan into this Acel. It seems like they didn't want to have to resort to it, but realized the Xayah was just too much of a problem, and the prepared counter to that was just not effective enough, so they had to resort to this, and it is not a bad option. Taxi's been playing super well here, is up 15 farm, and now a kill. Mike is on the flank, but is just going to get caught out here. Cam has started the dragon. It looks like they don't know, but Mike should find out very soon. Now he's figured it out. Cam is pretty low. Mike has the ult available to him. Rel is not 6, but Samira is. So a bit suboptimal. PB is now engaging on Cam, forces the ult out of Cam. Cam goes out over the wall. They might just be giving this dragon up, but Alex just took so much damage from going in there. Stanley's here, but has no ult available to him. Adam goes over the wall. Not sure what the call was there. He just gets bursted out immediately. Yumi's off. Yumi goes down onto Acel, and PB walks out with low health. But now Cam has no way back into this, just has no AD carry to support him here, and the smite should just be very clean, but they smite way early, and Hextech is stolen by Stanley. Well played on the Acel. Now Cam walks up too far, is able to get out with the clone. Fiddlestick's ultimate not hitting the people it needs to. Stanley gets feared, but Cam goes in with the counter engage, is almost able to pick up Fiddlesticks, doesn't quite do it, and now that is a double kill for Fiddlesticks, and Alex is able to pick up a kill onto the Yuumi at the end of the fight. That was such a mess. It looks like it might be New York Nutbusters favored, but the singular Hextech Drake this game is going to go over to the side of Andromeda as Stanley somehow manages to seal that dragon. I guess Mike just forgot what type of smite he had. Has been jungling too many games today and just lost track of it. Smite's a bit early at that 1,000 mark, and a couple ticks from Acel are just going to be enough to steal it. Crazy stuff. Blake has purchased his first full item. Alana has boots and a tier, and Taxi's looking for a kill. Flashes, gets the auto onto the Zeri, and that is another kill. Taxi is 3-0-2 to start this game, performing very well. Blake is 87 CS to 16, so the percentage of CS difference has dropped a little bit, but the lead is still immense. I assume most of that CS got picked up as Blake was away from top lane, which I believe happened once, and he bought a full item when he did it, which is kind of funny. PB is roaming up top to try and get something done here, but I'm just left questioning what the call was from Adam to dash over the wall as Zeri into the Dragon Pit, which contained the entire New York Nutbusters team. Blake showing why this matchup is pretty good. I was able to cleanse the slow from Sejuani W and go in. Unfortunately, it's not enough speed to like catch up to this is Ronnie Q, but maybe once Blake buys boots, that will be true. He's going to have a lot more trouble chasing her down, as he has not purchased boots, and Alana has. Although I believe the rage stacks from the cleaver do give you some movement speed, which could be enough to cause maybe to change there. I'm just going to double check. Yes, that is how that works. Cam gets spotted out on a ward, was looking for a play here. They're trying to get some gold ejected into this Zeri. But Taxi's just going for a play here. Gets half of Stanley's health with like 2 abilities. Disgusting stuff. If he does get his ulti up, I believe Stanley's just going to die to a basic combo, Ignite, and Ultimate with the remaining health he has left. Adam is almost even with Blake and CS despite dying twice, which is insanely impressive. Adam's just been able to like vacuum up so many resources over the course of these 2 games. Very high level stuff. The only comparison we could make is Hongbaba in terms of just ability to find and devour resources to get yourself ahead, but I don't even think it was necessarily to that level. Alex is off to a good start in a lane that may not be very good, but that might soon change. Alex is in a rough spot, got bursted there, but the rel engage comes down huge. Shield bow does get popped, and now PB is going to fall as well. First kill goes over to Zeri, and the second kill goes over to Cam instead. Alex just walked up a bit too far there, got caught out of position, and there was just no way to escape from that play. You could have burned the flash cleanse, but is it really going to do what you needed to? Probably not, and then you're down a couple sums. Better to just give over some gold and try and work your way back from there. The gold differential is still about 6,000, and Taxi is just going to be able to pick up this play. He's going to take some tower shots, and the Aesol ult is actually enough to kill him. Huge shutdown going over to the Aesol, which is really not what you want to see with the New York Nutbusters. Flash and ult were expended for that, but Ignite and Ultimate were burned from Vi, so it's a pretty even trade, and now that 6,000 gold lead's cut down to 5, which does matter quite a lot. Aesol is able to grab this Roa, but it's not going to be stacked until 23 minutes, a bit later than you'd like to see it, but something you can work to. I was under the impression that Aesol's ultimate stacks were changed from 75 required to 100 required, but it looks like the tooltip is still saying 75. Honestly, knowing how Riot works, that could mean anything. It looks like it might. Yeah, I don't know. He's at 94 and he's almost done, so I think it is 100. I think the tooltip is just super bugged, which is kind of funny, I guess, but just gonna point that out. Tax was really considering going in on Cam there, but seems to decide against it. Lana actually threw the W the wrong way there. It just doesn't really matter because the Q is able to get her out of any threat. However, Blake is super strong here. If he shows up to any fight, it's going to spell bad news for Andromeda. But it seems like their strategy is just keep him top for as long as possible and keep the Sejuani out of the game as much as they can. Fiddlesticks is coming down here. Cam drops down low, gets feared, and they are able to just pick Cam up before this dragon. This should be very safe. However, last time Mike tried to get a smite, he was not able to get it. Still on this 900 smite, so we could see a repeat of what happened before. Alex and PB's ultimates are still available. The Yuumi ult's coming down now. Not as strong as it used to be. The red team does pick up the dragon, so it is 1 apiece for New York Nutbusters and Andromeda. No fight though this time. Just the pick onto Cam, giving up the drag, and then moving forward from there. New York Nutbusters' lead is growing back up a little bit, giving them some strength in this game. The objective bounties are present for the side of Andromeda. Could look to pick something back up here by grabbing a turret or any other objective. Mike is dropping down the Rift Herald. Some of this push is going to be dissuaded by the Acel Black Hole, and the empowered ult is burned just to make sure that his tower doesn't fall. Probably the right move, to be honest, but unfortunate to see an ability wasted like that outside of a team fight. Taxi is choosing to just ignore the Acel at this point and just go for the farm, trying to get those numbers up and work towards that first item. He is sitting on so many components here. I assume this is going to be the Essence Reaver and the Eclipse. The Dirk was just picked up first to get some early damage down. And yeah, the Essence Reaver is completed. I'm expecting to see the Eclipse soon after. The Essence Reaver has more value in lane than you'd see in the jungle, just because you're going to have more mana problems because of the lack of the jungle item. Cam might be looking for a play topside here, but it's also entirely possible that he doesn't. Alana is struggling in terms of itemization, so their 2v1 might not be as strong as you'd otherwise think, although Sejuani's base damage and abilities are a lot. This engage is huge though, direct follow-up by Mike. They're falling down low, the Zeri ult is forced out, and this is why Samira just does not do that well into the Zeri, but Taxi's here, just picks it up, has to burn a flash to do so though, and I don't think this Yumi's going to get out alive. Never mind, she is going to be completely fine. They're just going to pick up the tower instead. But yeah, Samira struggles to play super well into Zeri just because Zeri's able to just press the E button and just get out. Makes it very hard. Cam shows up. Everyone knows who's here, but both parties are just going to choose to not try and pick a fight here, as it would not be advantageous for either side. Blake with the most CS in the game by about 15. Is just sitting on Black Cleaver, for sure has way more gold in his inventory, almost sitting on an entire another item. It actually does get interrupted here, has to burn the ultimate, and is just going to get solo killed by Cam. Cam burns the ultimate, and Taxi just doesn't have much left in the tank if he gets his Q interrupted. Cam trying his best to keep his team in this game. Everyone else on the team looking to struggle a little bit so far in the game. Some pings coming out on these objectives. The second rift is going to be available. Stanley actually does pick up an objective bounty on the bot side. Alex goes in. Lots of stuns coming down, but Zeri just going to get over the wall. All you have to do is just get to the wall, press E, and you're just fine. The Rel Samira engage is not super threatening to you, especially with the Yuumi on your back. Rel does still have ultimate available, is probably going to get used in the next big fight, but the Acel ultimate is also available. It is not the enhanced version, so it's a little bit less scary, but Alex is getting poked out super hard here. About a minute left before Baron and Dragon. Either of these objectives could be the source of a big fight. Both teams even on drags right now, and Baron has about equal strength for both, as bot tier 1 towers are both missing. But everything else is still present on the map. Looks like the Nutbusters are just going to try and grab this Rift Herald before it despawns, trading possibly this bot tower for it. But we'll have to see. It might allow them to redeem a tower for themselves later in the game. The wave is getting shoved out, and that could be exactly what we see. Herald is claimed, and they're going to look to break open the mid turret, it seems like, which does have a bit of a higher value. Yeah, last time they tried to get this turret, Stanley burned his ult. Blake is just trying to get a kill topside, but so much is going on around the map. Blake gets Alana pretty low, but not low enough. and Stanley just gets chain CC'd to all hell. They are able to get a bot lane tower in return, but with Azul off the map for the Dragon, this might just be pretty free for the Nutbusters. Blake is going to look for a kill here, gets the silence down, and is just going to drop the ultimate, and Blake finally gets a kill in this lane. I think he might have actually done it earlier and we just missed it, but now has 200 CS to Alana's 31. It seems they found the secret sauce to keeping her out of the game entirely, and it is Garen with the Stride Breaker and Black Cleaver available. Still no boots for him. These enhanced blast cones allowing Blake to pull some of the same shenanigans Cam used against him in the previous game. Just creating so much distance between him and the enemy team members when a play is being attempted to be made. New York Nutbusters are on a bit of a clock here. The Azul Zeri late game insurance is going to be devastating, and Sejuani and Wukong have pretty solid team fighting. Not mentioning Yuumi because she's just part of Zeri at this point. Samira, Fiddle, Garen are still going to have a lot of relevance there, and Rel's going to have crazy engages still, but if your damage just doesn't match the other teams, you're in a bit of a rough spot. Bit of boxing in the mid lane. Fiddlesticks is going for the ulti, is able to catch the fear. They might just be chain CC till death. Yeah, if Zeri's able to get away, it doesn't matter if you're able to burst them this quickly. And Yuumi gets interrupted, is not able to hop back on. Cam tries to get away. No one cares about Stanley's black hole. They're just going to walk out. But PB is actually getting chunked, forces the flash out of him. Cam goes in to pick up a kill, but it looks like Blake might just go for this. Silence drops him down, and the Garen ult is going to come out. Stanley is doing nothing this game. Was actually forced to itemize into an early hourglass just to defend from the Vi and the rest of the Nutbusters team. This should just be a free Baron. This was a 3-for-1 trade in favor of the Nutbusters. The last game looked at least pretty close for the first part, but Nutbusters is up 8k at 22 minutes. Absolutely dominating this game. Just a question of, are they going to be able to end it before it becomes too tough to do so? Looks like Rel is spotted out on a ward here, going for some vision. They're not really able to deny the vision just by knowing it's there, but it does give them some insight to kind of play around it. Mike is down a little bit in farm, but what he's down in farm, he's making up into straight kills in a very comfortable spot here. 5-0 and 5 so far in the game. Him and Blake have still not died. Blake is looking to reach a double flame horizon. Although Alana is farming against a different laner here, which is a bit better for her. Cam's looking for a possible engage, but is just not going to find it. This 1-3-1 from New York Nutbusters is pretty brutal, but Acel's now flying down bot, trying to help Alana out just so she can get some farm. The Vi is very threatening. The max HP damage is pretty solid into the Vi, and just takes out half of Sejuani's health with a few punches. It's ridiculous. And once again, Taxi just decides to just go for it. Does not actually end up falling to the tower this time, but is really close. Blake is finding some more resistance in this lane, having to lane into the Zeri Yuumi instead of a Sejuani. They're actually able to get some stuff done. Mike is looking to just burst Cam, but ultimately burst the wrong player, hitting the clone instead. And Taxi's now punished for taking the wrong way out of the tower, eating some extra tower shots there. And Alex and PB might be able to just grab this. The black hole causing some problems, but the Baron and powered cannon might be able to just pick this up. Adam, doing good work, is able to steal the Gromp over the wall away from the Garen. It looks like Blake is just biding his time, doesn't want to int over that 1,000 gold shutdown he has sitting on him to the Zeri. That would be the absolute worst person for him to give it to. And it's just dodging these abilities. Dave is really trying to find the right angle here and hit the Garen, but just not able to find it. Blake too quick on his feet. Fourth dragon of the game is spawning very soon. Both sides are going to want it. New York Nutbusters is probably going to get it. We do need to keep an eye on these smites, though haven't been the most consistent. Could be a potential problem coming in here. But the teams are both setting up. There's a control ward in the pit for the Nutbusters, and the dragon is already started. PB is playing bodyguard there. Cam might just get a very small red buff in kind of compensation for this dragon buff that he's not going to get. The black hole comes down, and Blake is just going to look to shred Cam, but so much CC is being dropped on Blake's head. He does have the flash available. He's just going to walk to the wall, burn it. Taxis here, they just choose to disengage. Blake was going for a little too much. Caught the eyes of 3 members of Andromeda who look to bring him down and just aren't able to do it. Blake is too tanky. But they are able to get his flash down, which is a great offensive tool and a defensive tool for this Garen, who's looking to one-shot your carries. Blake has completed his 3rd item of the game. I think this is just simply not true for any other player on the Rift. Heartsteel has been completed for Alana. This first item is coming in. Always good to see that everyone is able to participate in the game, at least to the point of buying a mythic item. Blake potentially could walk up too far here again, going up into the Zeri Yuumi with the Wukong coming to support them. But he's just going to grab a wave and just walk out. He is so fast on his feet. It is very hard for Nutbusters to force a fight here because Asol, Wukong, Sejuani, Zeri, all these champions just have so many ways to just leave fights. So you really need to make sure that your engage is solid enough to actually pick someone off, and the person that you're able to take out needs to be meaningful enough to allow you to gain some sort of pressure on the map, which they haven't been able to do too much of. They have 4 turrets, but with a 10,000 gold lead, you'd expect a bit more. They feel very dominant in this game, have 10 kills up, but doesn't feel like they have any real threat to end the game. Will note that Blake is 3 levels up on any member of Andromeda. So the difference in stats is going to be a bit higher than the difference in the gold lead. Cam's attempting to get out here. If Blake's able to stop it, that's huge. But if Blake doesn't stop it, he can just pick up this side lane turret, which is probably just going to get him to his 4th item in a very short amount of time. Cam decides to come back to try and stop it, but just isn't going to be able to make it happen. The Baron is going to be something to look at here. The entirety of Nutbusters are set up on it. Alana's looking for a flank, but everyone has eyes on Adam. Cam's here to try and dissuade it. They're spotting out these members, but nothing's happening. Blake was trying to get something done on Stanley, but the tower just provides enough safety that it's not going to be a huge deal. And Fiddle's able to hit a fear, but only onto one person. Cam with the flash ulti, knocking up 3 with both uses of his ults, but now PB with the great setup, and Alex is in with the Inferno trigger. Vi's able to pick up 2. Adam is falling down low, is able to pick 1 up onto Alex, but now Vi ult comes down, and Adam is just locked up. The Garen ult comes down too, and the Zeri Yuumi has been slain. Mike is looking to just pick up Stanley. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get it, and he picks it up with the silence. They're not looking at Baron. They are looking at the Nexus. They're trying to end this game before these respawns come back up. 20 seconds for Zeri Yuumi and 15 for the top jungle, but they're probably just not going to be able to get it. So going to expect to see them path back towards Baron and try and contest this. The downside of not turning to Baron directly is you're giving Cam more time to show up and try to make a steal. Zeri and Yuumi are going to be very quick on their feet to try and get back here. And Taxi is super far out of this. Not very high on the health bars either. Could be rough if Cam gets a good angle on it. He's been playing very well this game. A good Cyclone could be enough, but looks like he's just not going to be here in time. So much damage coming out from this Nutbusters team. Yeah, Cam walks up, sees them. It's not enough. Drops the ulti, but Blake is level 18, getting so much damage down. He's dropped down to about half health. But he's able to just walk out. The ult comes up from Fiddlesticks. So much follow-up. Blake is running in. Cam goes in, but just gets stunned by Rel. Really heads-up play from PB there, finding the angle to get some CC down onto the Wukong. Showing why he's 6-0, probably soon to become 7-0 on this pick. This game is intense. Look at the Vi build. We have Eclipse, Essence Reaver, Infinity Edge. It looks like we're going to have a Collector 4th item with Vi mid. Super fun to watch. I feel like the Samira Rel is not getting the utility you want it to. Just because of what we've talked about earlier with the Zeri being able to dodge out of a lot of it. We were able to see one good team fight there, but I think PB's Rel is getting a lot done. Alex is just struggling to get as much done. But Blake is absolutely steamrolling this game. Pretty much untouchable. And there we go. Taxi just obliterates the Zeri. Double kill. Picking up this Yuumi as well. This is ridiculous. And Taxi goes nowhere. Decides to cancel the Q, wait for the Baron minions to enter the base. The inhib taken down before the Baron actually does mean that this push is going to be much stronger. The enhanced siege minion is just too good here. The engage comes out, gets a lot of splash damage down onto all of these members. Not enough to really get too much done. The Zeri Yuumi is going to be up in about 10. Alana gets caught out here, is going to die. Alex picking up a kill. Blake getting some damage down onto this tower. Taxi is just crazy here. He's building full damage and he's still super tanky. Fiddlesticks ulting between both towers. Pops the Zonius. It's just going to fall the tower. I'm not sure what they're doing. Asol ultimate come down and they're just getting cleaned. Zeri picks up 1,000 gold shutdown. Oh, but Alex is able to get the Inferno trigger. Dave's stuck off the champion. And it looks like they're going to be able to close this game out. It's a miracle that Taxi did not die in that fight. Everyone else on his team pretty much got picked up. Blake, who had not died all game, and same with Mike, actually do fall there. And it looks like that was an FF. They did not finish hitting the Nexus there. What a game from Nutbusters. An absolutely crazy Vi mid pick that just carried the entire game. Huge support from the Rel Samira bot lane. Blake doing exactly what he needed to in the top lane, and Mike worked his heart out as well on the fiddle, setting up some great engages. Really good stuff. I'm excited to see how the next game goes. Okay, it's looking like we have about 6 minutes until we get into the next draft, and it looks like we do have a substitution from Andromeda. A player who has not played for them yet is being subbed in. It seems like Stanley, after losing this mid matchup to mid Vi, is now being subbed out. I felt like he had a lot more in his back pocket, but we're just not going to see it. We have Vernon here, who's played 12 games in the server with a 58.3% win rate. Only a 2.0 KD, but 9 champions, very diverse. I'm not sure what his current rank sits at. We'll have to go ahead and check that. Looks like he is Plat 1. So a little bit higher up the ranked ladder than Stanley is. So I guess that might be the angle there. Just potentially looking to exploit Taxi, but I honestly, after that laning phase, I feel like Taxi, if he's just not on Talia, will do pretty well. I think historically it's not been one of his stronger champions, and he just had to draw a lot of bans in the previous game. So we'll see if he's able to whip something out here to counter this matchup up. Vernon's champion to watch here is the Orianna. Everything else is looking the same just because I do not have the time to update these things. But draft will become or be going underway in about 4 minutes. I'm going to just kick it over to there. These teams are 1-1 going into it. If Nutbusters were to lose here, it would be their first defeat all season, which would be pretty crazy. Kind of nutso stuff. But if Nutbusters does win this, it puts them as 8-0, and I feel like their other matchups are not necessarily predicted to be that hard, so they could coast to a 10-0 end of season record if that were to happen. I think Spectres is probably the other big team to watch out for here. But yeah, interesting stuff across the board. Wonder if the Garen is going to get banned. I don't know. I'm gonna, again, just take some time to rest my voice. Struggling a bit here. Alright, we're starting off pretty much the same way we have before. These bands are all looking the same. Looks like the Zoe locked in again. Super boring. Nothing changing at all. This Xayah is taken away again. So I'm expecting to see a potential ASOL coming out, but I honestly kind of doubt it. My guess, just based on some scouting I've done personally, is that Vernon is going to be going to the top lane, with Alana maybe going to jungle or something after that, but honestly could see a lot of different things. Going to be really hard to draft for New York Nutbusters here, I think. Rel is just going to get first picked. Alright, and we are seeing Nami, so swap to Seraphine. Okay, so what I'm thinking is happening here is that we're going to see Dave and Alana bot lane, Cam jungle, and then Vernon and Adam as the soul laners here, which I think is an interesting adaptation. They're putting stronger players in the soul lanes to match Blake and Taxi, and then doing a weaker bot lane, but honestly I think Alex and PB can probably punish this. So we are seeing the double Seraphine Sona. I still am going to think that this is Alana and Dave in the bot lane. We'll have to update it in the future once we see the rest of draft, just so I'm able to kind of confirm it. But that is my initial suspicion. Kaisa is the lock-in here. I think it's pretty solid. Does not get pivoted to the Samira. I think it does a better job of not being reliant on getting things that can be disengaged. Olaf is picked up. I think it's a pretty good denial away from the team with the Seraphine Sona. And Olaf on that team would be completely disgusting. It's also a bit of an interesting flex. It's able to go top or jungle, I'm pretty sure. So it kind of leaves a lot of things on the table. I wonder what Cam is going to pick up here. It is going to be that Belveth again. We might see Rammus get banned. I honestly kind of doubt it. It looks like the play here is just going to be keep the Belveth alive with the Seraphine Sona, or my guess is going to be that they're going to pick some carry soul laners as well and just hope one of them gets fed and slap the Seraphine Sona on him to keep him alive. Just kind of make it so that bot lane does not matter here. Silas being denied is kind of interesting. Fiora's being banned. I'm not sure if that's like a good pick into Olaf. Not 100% familiar with Olaf top matchup spread. Although I think it would make sense if Fiora was a good matchup into that. Kindred looks to also be banned here. Seems like they're pretty sure this is the Olaf top, and honestly, given the Fiora ban, I think that does make the most sense. The final ban is going to be the Riven. I think these are two champions that Vernon's been playing a lot of. Roster was filled in with him being mid lane, but it seems like both teams are thinking that he is going to be the top laner here. But Adam could also just play those champions, so I think they're kind of like double service. I don't know what other champions would hit both players, so I think that's kind of interesting. The blind pick from Andromeda is going to be not a blind pick at all, but potentially something that reveals that Alana might be staying top, and we might see the Adam Dave be the combination playing the Seraphine Sona. think Sejuani will actually do significantly worse into Olaf than into the Garen, would be my guess. Garen just has less potential to kind of run down, just because of the summoner spell difference, I feel like, but I could be wrong here. Aurelion Soul is actually locked in for New York Nutbusters. They're going scaling. They're going to see if they can do what Andromeda was unable to do. They just need to make sure to not get too far behind in the early game and give this up. Double checked, Olaf's matchup into Sejuani is quite good, so I think Blake should have a good time here. The Garen is actually locked in. Hovered? Locked in. Okay, so this is going to be Olaf Jungle, which is very interesting. I think it's just going to try and run down and pop these Enchantresses. Nothing's going to be able to stop this, and Vernon does look to be picking the Yone into this Aurelion Soul. It is a glorious matchup for Yone. Probably going to absolutely slam the A-Soul here. So Taxi is going to need to show off and play very well to avoid this really awful lane for himself. I believe the Seraphine is probably going to be the main AP threat here. This is going to be a lot of attack speed damage from the Belveth and the Yone. But the Yone also can kind of split damage, so it's going to be hard to itemize into him. The Garen, the Olaf, and Rel are definitely going to need to think carefully about their item purchases to pick up the right things to pull this game out. Yeah, I've had it pointed out to me, or not pointed out, but upon thinking more, Olaf actually does prevent the Mordekaiser top from being locked in. But I don't know. I think this is a very good draft from New York Nutbusters. Playing towards a definite win con and keeping some of the same stuff that worked from previous games. I think the Aurelion Soul and Olaf are not going to have the same level of impact that the Fiddle and Vi did. So that is definitely a potential downside here. But other than that, I think it is going to play out pretty similarly. I'm just going to assume that these champions are, or that these players are going to the same place that they were, and have been told to me that they were going. But obviously, if I'm wrong, my bad, I guess. Just gonna try and get. Oh. I don't think this is right. Or at least I would be surprised if this is right. Things have gotten swapped around on my end. Trying to figure out what is going on here. Apologies for the delay. hoping that what I have is right here, but not promising accuracy here. These all look to be about the same as what we had before, so we're going to skip over that and go here. Mike has actually performed very well on the Olaf in the past, and same with Taxi on the Acel. Both of these players undefeated. PB is now 7-0 on the Rel, but I think Alex is also. I think Alex is maybe an additional loss on the Kaisa from the Rift Shark series. I honestly not sure about this bot lane. I think it might be Adam on the Sona and Dave on the Seraphine, but honestly, super hard to know for sure. Vernon has played Yone the server once before, did quite well. Cam is now 2-0 on the Belveth, although the KD is not quite as absurd, I think, but still pretty good. Kaisa's doing very well this season. I think Rel is literally just PB and one other person. Sejuani, again, has been doing pretty rough. These player matchups are not very insightful. Haven't been able to update them due to lack of co-caster. Kaisa Seraphine is actually something that we now have more data on. Seraphine seems to have done pretty historically well into it. I think Kaisa is just attempting to kind of like outscale and punish with a potential engage support, and it seems that that just has not panned out as you'd want it to most times. Oh, thank you, Noam, for the resubscribe. Okay, actually, by some small miracle, I actually got everything right. So that's kind of cool. We should be getting into game any second now.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Seconds until minions spawn. Yeah, it looks like Andromeda's going for like a later game angle here. Lots of TPs, and the many Enchantress comp is a very good way to signal that. Sejuani is going to synergize very well with this Belveth and Yone. Lots of attacking that's going to be done at melee range with those champions. I think Mike is going to definitely be a player to watch this game on this Olaf pick. See if he can do anything earlier in the game. Try and get some stuff done. I believe so far on the day-to-day,
red side has won 5 games in a row. So if New York Nutbusters is able to clutch out this series, they would have to upset the side selection debuff that they are currently facing. Although Taxi is shitting out damage onto Vernon here, getting so much done. And top lane just looks like a repeat of what we saw in the last game. Alana getting a little more CS early in the game than she did previously. But nothing too crazy. Vernon trading very aggressively, is able to get this level 3 first before the Acel. But Acel's dash is not like an insanely good combat ability, at least in this early stage of the game, so I don't think it's a huge deal. It looks like Adam actually forgot to buy a tier at the beginning of the game, so back to buy it and then teleported back with a tier and a control ward. A bit of an unfortunate error there. Could have a consequence on the lane. Mike is going for the early Scuttle Crab down here. Should just be completely uncontested. Bel'Veth has finished her full clear and isn't going for either Scuttle. Knows that the Olaf would probably just be able to beat her. Mike is now looking for a gank here. PB could go for the setup, is on vision, but there's so many minions, it seems to not matter. Mike is just running in. Adam drops down low, and the axe brings him down low, but maybe not enough. First blood is picked up for Mike, though. Gets a kill onto the Seraphine, and the Seraphine is now forced to make another reset, but no teleport is definitely causing problems here. Not going to be able to teleport back to lane to solve this. Shout out to Alana, though. She is CSing a lot better in this matchup. Has definitely learned how to avoid getting punished as hard by the Garen. But the Bel'Veth is now looking to make a gank before level 6 to try and potentially avoid something here. Cam might just be able to get this done. Blake does have flash, goes right for the silence of the Bel'Veth, is getting stunned out by Sejuani, and he's just... The flash comes in huge, waits for Cam to trap himself inside that E, and then burns the flash. Very smart timing there. If he did not do that, he would be in trouble, and Mike is now here looking to just fight. Cam drops the control ward. Mike doesn't spot it. Really heads up play by Cam there, plays it in the bush, knows that Mike won't see it, and will probably be distracted by attempting to get a kill. And that's going to be a lot of lasting vision for the side of Andromeda there. Blake does learn from the previous matchup and just picks up a call, knowing that this isn't going to be a very interactive lane. He just needs to get as much gold ahead as possible. He is shredding Alana down. The armor is penetrated. She's in a rough spot. And now with Blake getting extra gold for each minion kill, he's putting himself in an even better spot as he progresses through the game. Also decided to adapt from last game, has actually purchased boots, which is good for him. This does come in kind of clutch after the flash is burned, gives him some additional mobility, though it looks like a play might be coming out from the bot side of the map. Both Mike and Cam are kind of chilling down here, but neither seems to be really looking for a play. Mid lane's actually stayed pretty even, but I feel like Yone doesn't have much to do until level 6. And as I say that, he goes in. Taxi just takes the out, and Vernon is not going to get much done here. Pretty even trade overall. Mike is actually getting spotted from behind. They know that Bel'Veth is approaching the mid lane due to that vision cone being popped. So Mike is just going to clear out some vision. The Yone and Bel'Veth are actually going to look to make a play here. This is a very crazy wraparound dive. I'm not sure they're going to be able to spot this out, but there's nothing in the jungle. I think they're trying to catch out Mike, but I think these are just going to be ships passing in the night. They're not going to see each other, except PB sees both. Cam's going in, but now Mike's here. They're trying to fight this, but Mike has no ultimate. Yone grabs 3 with the ultimate, and Mike is dropping down low, but he ultimately does not fall. Vernon is quite low, but he's going to be very safe with the rest of his team there to protect him. Taxi is looking to potentially make the roam down, but realizes it's just not worth it. Andromeda was able to eliminate the jungler right before drag. Might be able to convert this into pressure to try and take it, but No, the Yone is just going to back, and they're slowing down the pace of the game a little bit. If Olaf wanted to stop it, he could, but I think Andromeda is just using the assumption that they would have started immediately to get some extra pressure there. Good dodge from Taxi there. Is able to avoid some Yone damage, but actually just eats a lot. It's really hard to get much done there. Adam is just going to get locked up here and does fall. That's a kill going to PV. You would have liked to see it go into the Kaisa, but a kill is a kill to a certain degree, so it's not going to be a huge deal. Vernon, I believe, should just be able to get a kill if Taxi does not respect him. Lana is bored of this matchup, is simply dancing in lane, tired of just seeding CS over and over again. The Kaisa is doing really good work into the Seraphine. The pressure from the Rel is just helping out this lane so much. Taxi's in a rough spot. If Vernon gets ultimate, he's probably just going to be able to get a kill here. Taxi doing his best to just eliminate the minions from the tower, so that if Vernon decides to go for something, he's going to catch turret aggro and going to not be able to do it. Rift Herald is picked up for the Nutbusters, and now they have about a 2k gold lead. They're down in early Drake though, but this is something that happened in the previous game, and they were able to make it to the other side on top. There are 3 people sitting in this mid lane really protecting the Asol. They're waiting for the Yone to go in. Yone's going to try and snap back, has to burn the ultimate to survive. Was able to hold Flash. But now Taxi's a bit of a CS advantage. Yone was able to grab a kill on that bot lane play, putting him a bit up in gold, but all things considered, Taxi's doing pretty well. And now the wraparound is coming down. Seraphine Sona is locked up, chain CC, and Dave is going to fall, and CC immune Olaf is simply just going to smite at him and just run him down, except he expired. PB's looking to finish this off, and PB should be tanky enough to survive here. That's a double kill going down to the Olaf. How are you going to stop this man? Cam has been farming up a little bit, but he's 1 CS down on the Olaf, who has 3 kills on him. So he's not really in a great position here. Seraphine is actually going to have his teleport up this time, but I'm not sure you want to show up here. It is actually able to dissolve the play, limiting the Nutbusters to 1 plate from the Rift Herald instead of being able to grab 2. Cam is looking for another play topside, but Blake actually just sees this one coming, so he might not even need to burn the flash. The stun is going to come out. So Blake is flashing again right after the E. Remembered how it worked from the previous time. Is able to get out again. I'm liking this adaptation from Andromeda though. A lot more pressure towards the top lane. Not letting Blake get away with what he got away with last time. I really didn't like to see them just leave one of their laners out to dry to the extent that they did in the previous game. And Vernon goes in, pops the ultimate, just completely misses. Is not getting enough damage here, takes a lot of damage from tower, has to snap back, is under 50% health, has no shield blow available to him to make him tanky. Mike seems to be caught out of position here though. Pops the CZ immune, is running right at the Yone. The star does fall. Cam's dropping down low. This play is crazy. Seems like they're just going to disengage. Did not get what they were looking for, but Flash is burned from both Yone and Belveth, although Adam might be able to pick up the Seraphine ult blind over the wall, or perhaps the minion was showing that. I'm not entirely sure. I do want to go back and check the vision here. Alright, so they watch him go. They do have vision from the minion, which is really unfortunate. I think Mike probably didn't realize that. And they all are able to just pick up that kill there. Cam's now sneaking around trying to get something done. Taxi is in a bit of a rough spot, but he actually knows Cam is there from that ward in the Raptor pit. And now they're going to look to hunt him down, but they realize Cam's just gotten out of reach, so they can't really go for it. New York Nutbusters are up a couple thousand gold, 2 kills, but they're down a dragon. And mostly all of their kills are on Olaf, which are not very optimal. Vernon is going to go in here, is able to get the knockup, pulls back early, doesn't get a kill, flashes the C9 emote. Seems very confused at what happens. Definitely could have gotten that kill, but actually just popped 3 early. PB looks to go in, but seems to find Cam immediately and decides against it. Has W back in 6 seconds. Could just go for it. Mike shows up here. No mana is available for Adam, but Olaf seeming to just scare them off. Pops the Ghost, but no ultimate. Dragon is being pinged. It is definitely bugged. That's not a Mountain Dragon. That's a Hextech Dragon. Just so we're all aware. Means the Soul is not going to be Hextech Soul or Mountain Soul, which is disappointing for probably both teams respectively. Mountain Soul would have been incredible for the Nutbusters this game, and Hextech would have been insane for Andromeda. I want to see either of these teams just kind of commit for this, but both junglers seem to be going here. Seraphine is pinging that she has no teleport, and now Yone's getting the ult lockdown onto Taxi. The Asol ult comes back, and Taxi is able to survive. The Plasma Stacks go down, and the Killer Instinct comes out from Kaiser. She's going in. Blake is coming from who knows where into the top lane. Not sure what we missed there, but now Cam is trying his best to fend off the team. I do want to shout out a lot to Alana here. It's very easy to get gapped in a matchup. Want to avoid taking the matchup again at all costs. And just having the same thing happen again if it does, but she seems to have learned a lot and adapted very quickly, which is an impressive skill to have. So just wanted to point that out. Okay, and it looks like now they're actually committing resources to get a Rift Herald for Bel'Veth. The Yone and Bel'Veth are there already, but it looks like Rel, Asol, and Olaf are going to be there in addition to Garen. The Olaf ult is popped. Vernon just goes in, gets silenced. What is he doing? Gets lit up by Chemtech Lamar, Mr. Blake himself on the Garen, and Cam is just forced off this objective. There's no way they're going to pick this up unless Cam goes for something spicy, but Cam just pops the Blast Cone, gets the hell out of there, does not want to deal with this. And this is the second Rift Herald picked up, 0 going to Bel'Veth. Crazy stuff there. Taxi does have the empowered ultimate available to him. I feel like he was able to hit Cam or Dave there, they just die. But Alex is going for the 1v1 onto Adam. Unfortunately, he's fighting in the minion wave, so his Q does not hit exclusively Adam there. Very much decreasing his damage. It is called Cathian Rain. Forgot, my bad. Taxi is here trying to get some damage down. But there's no one there at the body to kind of fully commit to this. Alex does not seem to see the Seraphine there, cannot shoot the W to stop the back, but he's just going to be able to walk up and grab a tower. This Enchantress bot lane does not seem to be panning out very well for Andromeda. Cam is going top lane, trying to make another play onto Blake, but Blake is so strong now, has the Black Lever completed, and the Cull's finished too, so this next back he takes is going to be huge. About half an item sitting in his inventory, or sitting in his pocket. He has a full item in his inventory. Taxi's once again having plays made on him by the Yone. This time he barely gets out, but the Olaf ultimate is here. Exhaust comes down too, and the flash from Yone is just going to stop the play. Rel shows up and they start danger pinging. They do not want to deal with PB on this Rel. If he wins this game, he would be 8-0 undefeated on the champion so far. Something you gotta watch out for. This game is looking pretty solid for New York Nutbusters. It feels like the change in the mid lane really wasn't what you wanted to see. Asol is seeming to get the late game window pressure. Huge flash from Alex. The tower shot is not enough to get the kill. The shielding from Dave is enough to save it. But yeah, Asol is relatively even in CS. Doesn't have the kill that the Yone has, but doesn't have the 2 deaths the Yone has either. So feeling pretty even. Alex is just going to get caught here. Lots of ults dropping down. You hate to see it as PB, but not much you can really do to prevent it from happening. Okay, Blake has completed the Iron Spike Whip and the whatever the hell they're called. PB's looking for an engage, the Kindle Gem. And Blake is caught out. Cam is quite strong here, already has his upgraded form. Blake just flashes in, tries to pick up a kill onto Alana, is able to do it. What is Cam going to do? Drops a slow, but Blake is just going to turn back in. But with no ultimate, I'm not sure he wins, but PB's there to back him up. Cam senses danger and just leaves. Blake is pinging that the Ocean Drake is going to be available. Ocean Soul for either team here would be huge. Keeping the Olaf alive is nuts, but Ocean Soul double Enchantresses already is going to be crazy. So both teams are going to be jockeying for position around this Drake, trying to see if they can pick it up. But yeah, game is looking a little New York Nutbuster favored. PB goes in for a huge play, forces the flash out of the Sona, and a TP from Vernon. The Rift Herald is being dropped right before the dragon spawns, a good way to apply pressure and try and force the other team off of it. They just don't have enough. The charge comes down and they get most of the mid turret. Vernon's looking for a play, does have the ultimate available. Yone ult is so powerful, but he's just going to get locked up by the Rel, not allowed to do anything here. And it looks like Taxi's just in a bit of a sacrificial position. He might fall. Actually hits a crazy ult. The skies have descended on Andromeda. Dave gets caught out of position, and Cam is just getting run down. But once again, Cam's best friends are these Blastcones in this series, except his greatest enemy seems to be Blake's ultimate. He's not actually able to find it. So Cam's able to get away scot-free from that play. Once again, using a blast gun to his advantage. But New York Nutbusters does take the lead in Dragons, putting them in a good position. Blake has completed 2 items. Teleports, says, Alana, you are not taking my turret. I'm here, and I'm probably going to take your turret very soon. Mike's in a dodgy spot here, does not have ultimate, is just going to have to run away. The blue smite, little Squirtle pet, is going to help him do that. But now Taxi's exposed. If Alana's able to hit an ulti, I'm pretty sure he's just going to die. Alex and PB could look to try and reinforce the top side of the map, but it seems that they're not going to do that, and are instead just going to chill out here in the mid lane. Vernon is rotating back bot. This Asol Sejuani lane honestly just seems brutal for the Sej. Asol's going to breathe on your lane and destroy everything, and then have potential roam threat while just breathing you down and getting % max health ticks on you as well. Cam looks like he's had enough of watching this fight take place, so he's going to try to come up and make a play, and decides against it, packs up his bags, and leaves. Taxi is the most farmed member of the Rift so far. I'm doing quite well. Dealing with the new player threat very easily, it seems. Completing his Leandri's Mythic, and is still going towards the completed Archangels, trying to get that little durability for himself. The Leandri's is going to help him greatly into the Sejuani. Probably why the lane swap happened. Garen is now going into the double enchantresses. And Taxi is just farming up, trying to get some Stardust. At 217 right now. Vernon is looking for some sort of flank with Cam and Dave, but they're just not finding anything. I've spent a lot of time off map trying to look for some sort of flank, but the gold lead is now cut down to about 2,500. Adam was able to farm up a lot. Actually now has the farm advantage over the Kaisa with some additional resources in his pocket. However, Taxi is getting a lot of CS, and with the CS comes Stardust, which is making him super powerful here. Feels like Taxi just wants to make sure he has the upgraded ultimate for the next time he needs to participate in a fight. I honestly am so confused at how this works. I think the bar is broken. It still says 75 on the tooltip, so we'll really just have to figure it out. Mike is just going for this. The exhaust comes down. Cam is dropping very low. Gets his damage resist. The CC immune, they're able to go 1 for 1. There's no junglers left on the map. Other kills going to the Yone. I think this is just going to stall out the objectives. And that means that the next fight is probably going to be for a dragon, which does favor the Nutbusters because they have more pressure on the other team to try and secure this dragon. PB goes for an engage, does not hit anyone with it immediately, but huge follow-up from Taxi, is able to hit the ultimate, but Vernon's able to pick up a kill. Vernon's dropping down low. Garen ultimate trades. Adam's falling down low, but the shielding from Dave and Adam is huge, keeping both of them alive under tower. This is a trade from mid laner to AD. Both ADCs this game are looking kind of weak, while the mid laners are looking pretty strong, but Blake just flashes in, goes Seraphine, you do not step up near me, and just eliminates her from the game. Blake is 4-0, looking very strong, and this Seraphine is going to struggle to get back to the dragon in time. It's going to be showing up too late to the fight, not going to have a lot of time to posture. Taxi's taking a reset here, and his next ultimate is going to be empowered, I'm pretty sure. It's not going to be available until the dragon spawns, but if you're able to wipe out half the rift when you're fighting for the dragon, that's going to be very powerful. Mike is farming like a maniac here, wants to stack up this Ravenous Hydra to as many stacks as possible before this fight breaks out. Needs all the extra stats he can get, as would any member of the Rift here looking for a play. Vernon tries to walk up but just gets hit by some CC as well as the Void Seeker. Trying to just mark him down. All the members are alive here. There's a deep TP from Blake. Gets caught out by the entire team, gets CC'd up, but takes no fucking damage. He's going down. Cam is burning. They're over-committing for Cam, it seems like, but they're just able to walk out. Cam's at half health, and Taxi has the Sky's Descend. Blake is just walking up. He feels like the entire enemy team can simply just not mess with him, and they're zoning off this dragon so hard. This 4K deficit is seeming almost unapproachable. Cam is just trying to farm at this point. What is Blake doing? It just doesn't matter. So many people are throwing abilities at him, and he just doesn't lose damage. And the Rel Acel combo comes in huge damage, dropping down to every member of Andromeda besides Cam. Cam is looking to maybe rejoin the fight, but I just don't know how he's going to be able to do it. And this fight is crazy. Blake goes in, same with PB. Vernon's trying to get a pick on, but there's just so much damage coming from so many sources, and Blake and Vernon kill each other. PB's dropping down low, Taxi's just racking up damage. I don't even know where Cam died. And Mike is just running in. His ult is not active. I'm not really sure what he's trying to do here. And he picks up Adam! What is going on? No one's able to stop this man. He's running at the Sona. The Sona's dropping down low. And he picks up a double kill! He's still going! Alana's able to pick up a kill, but oh my god. What happened there? That was like a 3 for 4. If anyone was able to figure out where Cam died in that fight, that would be cool. I just didn't even see it happen. This Asol rail combo is looking quite strong. I hadn't thought of it before we watched it, but they've been executing on it super well. Feels like something they've practiced. The rail engages, and the gravity field's just going to pull them in to the Asol ultimate. They just have no way to escape, especially with the black hole helping as well. It becomes very tricky for anyone to kind of get out of range of it and survive. And Vern is once again looking for a play, hits the ultimate, but at this point, Asol is just so tanky, doesn't even have Archangels, but he is going to drop down to about 40% HP. But it's not enough for him to die, and his ultimate is still going to have intense value in this fight. They do not have the healing. They have a Honey Fruit potentially available to feed to the Asol, but it looks like Mike's just going to try and walk up and make a play for himself. He's bound to PB, lots of CC available by the Rel. And it looks like Taxi's just going to do a flyby all the way back down to the Wolves. Maybe try and get it. Mike sees a Sejuani. That is not who he wanted to fight. So he's just going to take a step back. And Asol is just farming up. 107 so far. Playing out of his mind. He really just probably has a photo of the MVP standings framed on his desk. Looking at it, sees Cam up high. Sees himself in second right now. And he wants to be on top, so he's trying to just outplay his opponents at all possible points of the game. Performing out of his mind here. Second highest CS in the game, Blake has that number with 268. And here he goes, going on Alana. Alana is getting slow, drops down low. Blake is able to just walk through her and dodge the Sejuani R. Looks like there's some grouping happening towards the Baron. Some vision needs to be cleared out before Nutbusters is able to take this. And that is beginning to happen now. There could be a teleport from Taxi, and they could just try to burn this. Looks like Mike and Blake are both going to kick the blast gun over. And Taxi's in a potential rough spot here, but flashes the Yone ultimate. Black hole comes down. Yone's just going to have to get pulled back. And Taxi is likely going to back and then teleport back in here. But the Baron's already so low, there's no way you're stopping this. And, oh my god! Cam steals the Baron, and he's immediately going to die for it. Isn't even able to take the body, but that's Baron buff on 4 members of the Nutbusters. Blake's pinging the Dragon, and Vernon is able to pull back in time to survive the ultimate. But Vernon also just sits in a bush and dies to Taxi! He makes an insane play to survive the ultimate, pulls back just at the right time, and then just walks right into Asol's range, completely disrespecting the damage from the Star Dragon. But now this should just be Dragon over, unless Cam's able to get another crazy steal. I'm not even sure how he was able to do that. Just going to do a quick replay on that steal. It was pretty nuts. Wow. Okay. Okay, so they get vision briefly. It goes out. They get a little bit of vision. Cam sees it, flashes in. I was at 11:30. Really good play from him there. And Taxi's able to pick up this kill. Wow. Impressive stuff. Alright, I will turn Fog of War back to where it's supposed to be. And to no one's surprise, New York Nutbusters is grouped up on this dragon. They want the Ocean Soul. It's always possible we could have some good old-fashioned Elder flips and bring Andromeda right back into this game, but the risk is clearly worth it because Ocean Soul is a crazy objective. We'll put this team in a great position. Garen is already basically unkillable, and this team is just going to shred this. There is no way for Andromeda to contest this dragon take. And Blake is able to get away with highway robbery here. Just steals the Raptors. And Ocean Soul is on the board for the Nutbusters. It makes it very difficult for Belveth and Yone to get this burst. It almost makes it seem like both teams have the Seraphine and the Sona, especially because of how far behind these champions have been put this game. Seraphine's at least farmed up a little bit, has the Archangels available, and Moonstone and Redemption. Very solid build, and it looks like we do have a few forms of Grievous Wounds coming out to try and counter this. I'm not sure how effective it's going to be. Blake does get locked up. He's going in to fight. He does have the flash available. The smite comes out. He doesn't need it. Phase Rush is getting him out so quickly. And this game has just slowed down a little bit. There's no objectives available on the map right now. Cam with the excellent Baron steal to kind of slow the game down a little bit. I'm just not sure if this slower game is going to benefit Andromeda. Asol already has a lot of Stardust, 416. He's working towards the leveled up ulti for the next one, but he's already level 18, and so is Blake. All these resources going into the Garen and the Asol, but you can't sleep on Mike either. He's been playing super well, has 9 kills, and has been able to just run through people. Really heads up pick into the Seraphine Sona. Has been playing to his objectives very well. And obviously PB on this rail, disgusting. He's been able to do like inhumane stuff to the other team. These flash ulti engages have been setting them up super well. It feels like Andromeda just needs to figure out how to space on the next few fights they're going to be participating in, and then try and work from there. Because if they keep getting cut out by Rel and Asol, I just don't see a way for them back in the game. If Vernon's able to get picks, that could help them out. But I feel like Cam's really struggling to get anything done. Belveth from behind feels absolutely brutal. And with this Ocean Soul and the Archangel's Shield available, I feel like your opportunity to get picks on Taxi is just no longer there. And Cam goes in. Blake still has the flash. The Sejuani ulti misses. Blake is just going to phase rush Deadman zoom away. Very heads up play by Blake throughout this entire game. When he gets collapsed on, when he has Deadman's plate, he does not auto attack. He needs to make sure he's preserving his move speed. A lot of people will make that mistake. They'll go, hey, Garen Q, that's a silence, is good. But now PB's caught Cam out, and the TP is coming in. I'm not sure from who. Looks like it was Blake. Taxi was already close enough. The Redemption is out. I'm not sure what is really being fought for here. They just thought a fight was going to break out, but now Vernon goes in, gets silence, is not getting too much done here, and PB goes in on the backside, and this Sky's Descent is huge. The Seraphine ulti is really good in response, and Vernon's able to scoop up 3 with ultimate, but it looks like Nutbusters is coming out on top. 2 people have died from both sides. Blake's still alive. Alex is still alive, and he is going. He is hitting. Kais is getting so much damage. Blake is just running in. The Killer Instinct brings him close, and they're able to take down the rest of the team. Taxi and Blake both taking tower damage. And, okay, everyone DC'd. They think they broke the game. Yeah, there's a little hiccup when watching it back, but that was crazy. Huge team fight. Taxi with the perfect game, not dropping a single death, but Vernon saw the opportunity to go in, but it actually exposed an opportunity that PB saw expertly, went in with the flash engage, locking up the entire team. Perfect setup for Taxi there. Huge play. And New York Nutbusters does not drop a series for their first 8 games this season. I am going to go ahead and give the MVP for that last game to PB. Those engages were fucking fantastic. Supports do not get enough love. He made Taxi look like Faker. Taxi played insane out of his mind. I'm giving him a shout out there. I do not think he played poorly, but PB gave him perfect setup for every single ultimate. which was fucking sick. Every member of New York Nutbusters played very well this game. But yeah, well fought series to both teams. It felt like they were really going for something there with the Yone Belveth with backup, but Alex and PB just tore apart the bot lane, set up ganks for the Olaf exactly how they needed to, and they were able to close out the series. Dropped one game and then won two in a row. Good stuff for the Nutbusters. My voice is gone. Otherwise, I would try to get someone on for an interview. But yeah, shout out to Nutbusters. They went 2-0 in their series today. All players on that team have been kind of smurfing this season, so good stuff from them. I'm just going to toss on some music and then I'll cut the stream in a bit. But thank you to everyone who was watching.